10:22 now. It is Steph with you on BBC Radio Cumbria. We are coming to the end of the Easter holidays. Hopefully it's been a lovely few weeks with family, friends, and not too stressful a one with the kids or the grandkids. For two people from Cumbria, it's certainly been one that will live long in the memory, as they were recognised for the decades of service they've given to their local churches and communities. Now, the tradition of our king or queen giving out Maundy money on the Thursday before Easter dates back to the 13th century and was introduced by the reigning monarch at the time, King John. This year's ceremony took place at Worcester Cathedral when two people from Cumbria were among the lineup of 75 men and 75 women chosen to be presented with the money by Queen Camilla, who was standing in for King Charles. Joan White has been involved with St James's Church in Carlisle for over half a century, while Brian is a long-standing church warden at St Kentigern's in Mungrisdale. And I think it's fair to say they were both somewhat surprised to have been nominated, as we're about to hear, because Brian and Joan are with us this morning. Good morning to you both.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you very much for joining us, and huge congratulations on what must have been such a special occasion for you and your families. I mean, Joan, we'll start with you. I mean, has it sunk in yet?
Well, it has sunk in, yes. You know, it's been kept in my memory with publicity in one thing and another. So, yes, but it's something to remember for the rest of my life, yes.
And appropriately enough, you're at St James's Church this morning. What are you helping out with there today?
We, once a fortnight, on a Thursday, we have communion, a small service of communion, and then we have lunch afterwards. So that's what I'm preparing for this morning.
Oh, lovely. And how did you find out about your Maundy Money nomination, and what was that feeling like?
It was the beginning of January, and this letter came through the post, and at the time I was soaking wet. I wanted to get dried off and that, so I didn't bother with it very much. And then opened it up and I couldn't believe it. And I suppose like everybody else, when they get a message from Buckingham Palace, you just have to read it through several times before you realise that it's real.
I bet.
You know? Yeah.
I bet. And Brian, was it a similar thing for you? How much of a surprise was it?
It was just an amazing shock, in fact. I just couldn't understand why. There's so many people do so many things for the church and community, and I don't know who had selected to choose me. It was just extraordinary. Yes.
And you still have no idea who nominated you then?
No idea.
Wow. Tell me a bit about the many things that you do in Mungrisdale and beyond, Brian, because I know you take a keen interest in helping young people.
Yes, well, I've been part of the Mungrisdale Church for many years and been the church warden there. I'm also a lay preacher, so I take services there, but I also help out with different children's groups. I help out with the youth cafe in Penrith, which was started some years ago. It's a tutor cafe in Penrith, and the young people can come in from school and they and chill out and play games, but we do some teaching sessions there and just let them explore who Jesus was. And also I help out with Open the Book, where we go into primary schools and we get dressed up and dramatize the Bible stories, because we don't think that children get an opportunity to learn about the Bible stories at this time.
Yeah. And Joan, for you, how did you actually get involved with the life and community work at the church?
It goes back many years, obviously, and they were looking for a cleaner for the church centre here on St James Road and the church. So it fitted in nicely with the children.
Yeah.
My own children. I could come and go and do the work as and when. And so, yes, I started doing it then.
And that's nearly 50 years ago, is that right?
Yeah, it was about 77 when I started.
Wow.
Yeah, 1977, yeah.
And tell us about the Maundy Money ceremony in Worcester Cathedral then, Joan. What were your first impressions of it all? And meeting the Queen, of course.
Yes, it was an amazing event. Nice. Just the whole surroundings and the choir and all the processions, and yeah, it was just the atmosphere was amazing. And the singing, and yes, it was amazing. And she was very nice.
Oh, was she?
Yes,
oh,
she was
good,
very
good.
present, yes.
Oh, I am glad. And Brian, how about for you then?
Yeah, I felt quite emotional about it. It was we were sitting in the cathedral listening to this uplifting music, and it suddenly dawned on me the symbolism of this. Where the monarch, the highest person, the most powerful, is coming to actually say thank you to those people who help other people just quietly, and also this idea that going back that people who are very wealthy, would give money to the poor, and I just thought that that's been celebrated for 800 years. It's just so exemplifies the culture of this country.
Yeah. What do you actually get given then, Brian?
Well, there are two purses. One is white, which has the Maundy money in it, and you get 75 pennies, 1 penny for each year of the monarch's age. And they're in 1 penny, 2 penny, 3 penny, and 4 penny in little packets. And they're made of silver with the king's head on and a special stamp on the front.
Wow.
And then there's the red purse, which is the gown money, and the gown money goes all the way back to Queen Mary I, who in those days they didn't give the money to the women, they just gave the money to the men, and she decided to give her gown to the poorest woman. And so what happened was lots of the women wanted pieces of this gown, and so Elizabeth I decided that she wouldn't do that and that she would give money to the poor women. And that tradition is now handed down, and you get a coin, which is the gown money, and another coin in the red purse, which represents the food and other things that they were given at the time.
Right, and it's such an historical ceremony, a huge honour as well. Joan, what's the reaction been like from people that you know? Have you been trying to keep a low profile?
Yes. It's they've all been very kind.
Mm-hmm.
All been very kind to me, and
wonderful.
But no, I'm more than thankful for this, and I really don't deserve it. To be people out there who have done so much more for charity and whatever than me, and I'm sure there must be somebody there that would have been more worthy. But I'm more than grateful. I'm overwhelmed.
I bet. I mean, very humble there, Joan, but I think you both are thoroughly deserving. And thank you very much for all that you've both done as well. It's been a real pleasure to chat to you this morning.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Joan. Take care. Thank you very much.
God bless.
Brian Davis there and Joan White, chosen to receive Maundy money from Queen Camilla at Worcester Cathedral this Easter. What an occasion that must have been for them. It is 10:30 now. You're listening to Steph on BBC Radio Cumbria.